those of you who have been wondering where the intro and outro have gone, I apologize. But I did hear your pleas, and they're back.
I thought that would be fun, even though I couldn't turn it off. So, how's it going? Apparently, I've heard some numbers flying around. I'm not sure how true this is, but apparently this tornado season has been like the most active in like the past 50 years. Or I don't know. I'm just numbers and statistics and people making stuff up. But there have been a ridiculous amount of tornadoes. One just hit Tuscaloosa and it was really bad. Also, with all the weather that's been going on, pretty much the area around Mississippi State and the central part of Mississippi is just no power, blacked out completely. So Jim, that many of you know, or as John says, my imaginary friend, went to pick up his brother from Mississippi State, and as they, I guess they were packing up some stuff or whatever, and then no more power. And so the guys decided that they were just going to drive south and go get some dinner. Well, they drove, I think, almost 2 hours away before they found someplace that had power. And the journey that Jim went on ended with them on their way back, and they had been requested to find a flashlight and some food for one of the guys' girlfriends. So they stop at a gas station, and as Jim described it, he pulls up, and he turns, looks back at his gas cap, and sees a man standing there. But the man doesn't say, "Hi, how's it going? How much do you want today?" He just stares at him. Until Jim finally says, "I'm guessing this is a full service gas station?" He's, "Yep." So Jim had a creepy experience with some guy out in the middle of nowhere, I think in Carthage or north of Carthage. And I'm sure Jim can tell this story much better, but I just had to relate some of that for Jim's sake, because it was really funny. And I don't understand why at all that guy was just completely silent, blank-faced, and didn't engage and try to sell himself. But Jim didn't tip him because the guy creeped him out, so he kind of just threw the money at him and left. And I don't fault you for that at all, Jim. He would have scared me as well. As Jim said, it kind of reminded him of The Hills Have Eyes. So what else? Oh, I was just reading an interesting article on two different things. One of them, both of them are on Cracked.com, and one of them is about five trends you think are ruining movies that are older than film themselves. And basically these are trends like remakes, copying other people's material, spoofs, stuff like that, which basically have existed in opera, stage plays, novels, poems, you name it, it's been done, and by the big names Shakespeare, Poe, Bram Stoker, all of which either did a knockoff, did a historical reference, or did something that was just a cheap steal of somebody else's storyline. It's all about doing it better than the first person so that you get remembered. The other one is 5 techniques that, creepy ways that video games are trying to get you addicted. And basically it's psychological techniques about reward that exist in video games, and about kind of the whole running the hamster wheel. You do an activity over and over again that kind of gets you somewhere, or it doesn't take any skill, and I kind of see this in the games that are basically based around cutscenes, but the ones that really don't have much skill to them. Because you're basically told to go to this town, do the exact same task you did in the last town, so that you can progress the story. But it's going to take you 3 hours to do this little in-between part. Then you watch a 2-minute segment, and you go on and do the same thing over and over again. And that's the whole video game. Or some games like WoW, where crazy people play the game over and over again, and they're like, "Ooh, I went all the way across the map and did this little thing so I could get all these little awesome armor pieces, and I have the best armor ever," even though I could have just bought some armor that would have been as strong as this. It just didn't look as cool. And they talk about that whole concept, that it's all about the idea of the item that you're buying, because because they compare it to a diamond. a diamond doesn't really do anything besides be a rock that looks pretty. So why would you think that people wouldn't care as much about digital material that just looked pretty? I'm now at 5 minutes. I kind of rambled. So you have a good day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.